So, have you ever really stopped to think about why you think the way you do? What's really going on under the hood? Well, in this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain on the hidden architecture that shapes, well, pretty much everything you believe.
I mean, think about it. We all do it, right? We make these snap judgments in a heartbeat. But where does that feeling actually come from? That instant, yep, I like this, or nope, not for me. What's the source of that?
All right, so let's get into it. To understand what's happening in our brains when we form these opinions, we need to look at the basic building blocks. Think of it like the fundamental blueprint for every single belief you hold.
Okay, so at its very core, an attitude is just an evaluation. It's you deciding whether something is good or bad, favorable or unfavorable. It's basically your brain's built-in thumbs up or thumbs down system.
And this mental shortcut, this little thumbs up or down, isn't just some random feeling that pops into your head. Nope, it's actually a surprisingly structured system. You can think of it like a recipe, and it's got 3 key ingredients that go into every single attitude you've ever had.
Let's make this real. Think about your attitude towards your morning coffee. Your thought, the cognitive part, is probably something like, coffee helps me wake up. Then there's the feeling, the affective part. You know, that sense of comfort from the warm mug, the amazing smell. And the action, the behavioral component? Well, you make a cup every single morning. That's it. Thought, feeling, and action, all working together.
Okay, so attitudes are made of thoughts, feelings, and actions. Got it. But where do those come from? I mean, these ingredients don't just magically appear out of thin air, right? There's an origin story here.
Well, the short answer is we learn them. We aren't born with these attitudes. Maybe you had a really bad experience with a certain type of music. That's direct contact. Or your parents always told you that a certain vegetable is good for you. That's direct instruction. You probably picked up some of your taste in movies from your friends. That's interaction with others. You can even learn an attitude just by watching someone else. We're basically sponges, soaking up these evaluations from everywhere.
And this is where things get really interesting, because if our attitudes are learned, that means they can also be changed. This one simple idea is the bedrock of the entire advertising industry. It's a multi-billion-dollar bet that they can persuade you, and there's a real science to how it works.
Right, so changing someone's mind, or even your own, isn't just about yelling louder. It's not magic, it's a science. And like any good science, it has a formula. There are basically 3 key factors that decide whether a persuasive message is going to work or just totally flop.
You can really boil it all down to this. Who says what to whom? First, there's the source. Are you going to listen to some random person or a doctor in a lab coat? Trust matters. Then there's the message itself. Is it clear? Does it hit you in the feels? An emotional appeal can be way more powerful than just dry facts. And finally, you have to consider the person. If they have a super strong, deeply ingrained belief, well, good luck. Changing that is going to be a serious uphill battle.
All right, so we've looked at individual attitudes, how they're built and how they can be changed. But now let's zoom out, because these attitudes don't just float around on their own. They're all part of a much bigger system. Think of it like a social GPS your brain uses to navigate the wild world of other people.
And that system has a name. It's called social cognition. I mean, just stop and think for a second about how much social data you process every single day. It's an insane amount of information. To keep from short-circuiting, your brain has to take shortcuts. It needs quick ways to make sense of everything without getting bogged down.
And one of the biggest shortcuts it uses is something called a schema. The easiest way to think about a schema is like a mental filing cabinet. You've got a file for everything. There's a file for job interviews, a file for awkward family dinners. So when you walk into a new situation, your brain just pulls out the right file and you instantly know what to expect. It saves you so much mental energy.
But here's the catch. These shortcuts, these mental filing cabinets, are super useful, but they're not foolproof. In fact, they can be kind of buggy. They lead to these predictable glitches in the system, common thinking errors that literally every single one of us makes.
A huge part of our social software is this constant need to play detective. We are always, and I mean always, trying to figure out the why behind what people do. This whole process is called attribution. It's our brain's endless quest to find a reason, any reason, for the behavior we see around us.
And this inner detective of ours, it has a massive blind spot. It's a hilarious glitch called the fundamental attribution error. Here's how it works. When someone else messes up, we immediately think, wow, what a clumsy person. We blame their personality. But when you mess up, oh, it's never your fault, right? The floor was slippery. We blame the situation. Once you see it, you'll see it everywhere.
And believe me, that's not the only bug in our programming. We're also hardwired with a negativity bias. You know this one. You get 10 compliments, but that one piece of criticism is what you'll obsess over. Then there's the optimistic bias, that little voice that tells you, oh, bad things happen, but they happen to other people, not me. And of course, there's counterfactual thinking. That's when you get stuck in a loop of what-ifs and should-haves.
So what's the big takeaway from all this? Look, your mind runs on this hidden architecture of attitudes and shortcuts. You can't just turn it off. But now that you know it's there, now that you can see the glitches in the software, you've got a new superpower. You have the ability to question your own gut reactions. It gives you that crucial moment to pause and ask yourself, wait a minute, is that really what I believe? Or am I just running on old code?